got this. What's up, Marcus? How are you, man? Good to see you. I'm going to be able to be there, right?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Chelsea with Bias News.
Hi, Anissa, you're around.
It's nice to meet you. I promise I'll ask you 2 questions.
Sure.
I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to blind you, sorry. But I promise it's like always like this. Perfect, so you look great.
So do you?
Thank you. I feel like I'm all, this is my 2nd story, so usually by this time I'm starting to sweat a little bit. If you can say and spell your first and last name.
Sure. It's Anthony Eramo, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y-E-R-A-M-O, and I'm the Vice President of Long Beach City Council.
Perfect. So when you talk about Michael taking over the temporary city manager.
Sure. As you know, we are losing Jack Schnirman. He's going to become comptroller here in the County of Nassau. And while Jack was away, over the last few years, Commissioner Taggy was our active city manager. So this just continues the continuity of that to make sure the city is running steady while we complete our search.
And then do you think that he is qualified for this?
Absolutely, 100%. He has done the job. But also he's a lifelong Long Beach resident, really understands our city. And as police commissioner, has his finger on the pulse of city village. And as I said, while Jack was on vacation over the last few years, he was in fact acting as a city manager. So I'm excited to have Jack, I'm excited to have Commissioner Taggy as our temporary city manager.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
There will be a swearing in on the 1st.
On the 1st, okay.
So this is just to put the wheels in motion so that it can happen on the 1st.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I thought you were quoting me. I was like, what did I do? Yes, I got time with it. Yeah, so nice meeting you, really. Thank you, guys.
Not a problem.
Is there money on this? He's in like a bathing suit.
Oh, hi. Thank you. I'm good, good. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Just thought I'd
Yeah. I'm gonna get some
I'm not sure that it's newsworthy.
I'm gonna try to make it newsworthy.
Well, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
So, not perfect. So this is time on roll. But this is what I think is just extraordinary.
Yeah. Thanks for time.
Well, it's his last
Count.
This
Yeah.
he's a professor at the Legal College and esteemed educator and she's an educator as well. So we have
Yeah.
So we just want about 17%.
Yeah.
So, it's important. One thing that he did do, and the rest of the members did too, was a language access.
Wow.
Right, that all services must conform languages of all sorts. They can implement something to language
Yeah. They have a list. That's really amazing. And then we need to get some video. Hopefully, they take it. Usually they do. Sometimes they do. But that's amazing. Thank you for coming up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
Just a few months.
glad
Yeah,
to
thank you.
see you crowd here tonight, and we want to welcome all of you for coming out to our city council meeting. And tonight for me it's a very special city council meeting because it's going to be my last city council meeting. And People wonder why it is that I'm smiling all the time, but I am very glad of the career I've entered, but also very grateful for the kind of support and trust that the city has given me over the last almost 10 years. Particularly if we count the zoning board that I was on, it goes way into beyond 10 years. So I'm very grateful for that, for everyone here. I'm also particularly very grateful to the parents of Long Beach that also trusted their children to me in the many years that I spent with the Long Beach School District. And as you know, very recently I've become a graduate school professor, and I'm very happy doing that. And I feel for me that I at least be a better professor, having gone through what I've gone through here in Long Beach. And it really marks the 44th year in public service for me. And I still have more to give. And I'm very happy to be able to do that. With that, folks, I also wanted to remind everyone that good and welfare is at the end of the meeting, and we need people to sign up for that during the meeting before the city council meeting is over. It's part of the tradition that we've had here. The other thing, too, that I wanted to remind everyone about is that we have, of course, like always, a 3-minute limit on comments and questions that you might have. It's important to understand, too, that we may not be able to answer everything for a number of reasons. It could be a legal reason that we can't answer it. It could be because we don't have an answer for you. But we will try to get someone to be able to give you the answer, some kind of response. And last but not least, the important thing is the quorum. Like any government function, we expect people to respect one another, to respect the people here, and also from the council as well towards the public. And these are things that have been really the hallmark of the kind of administration we've had, because we believe in decency and humanity, and we hold in very high esteem public service. And with that, folks, I will turn the meeting over to our...
Thank you, President Torres. If the council and the city manager can join me down here for a couple of proclamations.
Okay.
So, as Lendon described, today is, in fact, his last meeting, and we are going to certainly miss him here. So we just wanted to take a moment and recognize Dr. Len Torres for all the work he's done for our city. He did go through a little bit of it, but I just want to highlight a little bit. In 1974, he became a teacher here in Long Beach at the Magnolia School. Moved here in 1976, where he raised his children with his lovely wife, Beth. Beth, wave, everyone. He wrote the ELA program that they currently still use at the high school, and he became the director of that program. He worked for the school district for over 13 years. He also worked, Dr. Torres worked in Riverhead, Posey, New York City, Roosevelt, and Hempstead. He served in administrations, he taught, he did everything he could do for our children, for all our community's children, and we are all grateful for that. It takes a lot to spend your career in the schools, and we certainly appreciate all our teachers. And then he joined a commission here, a volunteer position in the 90s. And from there he went on to the zoning board, and then he was the first Latino elected to the city council in 2009. He had a 2-year term, was again re-elected for a 4-year term, where he served as president, and he was president when Superstorm Sandy hit. And that was a very trying time for our city, and as everyone knows, we did remarkably well after that, and we continue to make great strides. And then in 2015, he was elected again to another 2-year term, and he's been president ever since. So this is a man who gave his entire life to public service, and I think the whole city, I know we're just speaking for us and the folks that are here, but I think the whole city owes you a debt of gratitude, man. The compassion you show in that seat is remarkable, and I hope everyone here, including myself, learns from you, and I certainly have, and I thank you for that. Dr. Torres.
I want you to know that he didn't tell me that we're going to do this. I mean, I'm surprised. Thank you so much, Anthony. And, you know, I have to say that the city's in really great hands with this administration, with this council. And I want to thank everyone again. And I have to say that through thick and thin, it's been a lot of fun to be here on city council. We work with the school district. We work. I mean, and I see Bob Carroll here. We were on the Recreation Commission. Bob, would you stand up?
42 years Recreation Commissioner, 47 years, City of Long Beach.
And you know, we're very proud of the work you've done. I mean, as a teacher and as the director and superintendent of recreation for so many years. I've been very fortunate to be part of this wonderful city that's welcomed me, my family, my wife, and children. We've been able to raise all our kids here, and every one of them has become really, really natural. And, you know, again, this is the kind of city that we have, and that we yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
And I just wanted to take a couple of moments to recognize City Manager Jack Schnirman. As one of the city council members who was on the original search committee for the city manager, along with Dr. Torres and City Council President Fran Adelson, who's here today with us. On behalf of the city, we want to thank you for everything you've done. If you can remember back when we first came into this administration, it was a very different city. It was a very different city the way it looked, and it was also a very different city the way it felt. And a huge part of moving the city forward to what it is today is attributed to Jack Chumi. During Sandy, Jack, who was how long were you on the job at that point? 10 full months, really showed what it means to pull together in a crisis and to show how Long Beach leads. On behalf of myself, on behalf of the council, and on behalf of the city, I want to wish you all the best. We expect big things from you, and make Long Beach proud the way you've made us proud so far. And this is on behalf of the city council.
Okay, there is one last thing that I need to mention, and that is that we do want to hear from you. You know, the good and welfare, and during the different items that we have here, it's important for government to function by having the voice of people like yourselves come to the city council and to give their opinions. And with that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Mr. Frazier.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach on Tuesday, December 19th, 2017 at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Diamond. Here. Councilmember Mandel.
Here.
Councilmember Moore.
Here.
Vice President Eramo.
Here.
President Torres.
Here.
Would you like to indicate the presence of City Manager Jack Schnirman and Corporation Council Member Agostisi? And that is who we can play.
Memo, would you lead us tonight, our pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, again, I want to welcome everyone, and let's quickly go into our city manager's update.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. It's been another fantastic holiday season in the city with terrific events for everybody to enjoy. Thanks to everyone who has attended the Christmas tree lighting, the Hanukkah menorah lightings, the Jingle Bell Race, the Children's Holiday Show, and the Electric Light Parade, which was terrific. And coming up on Sunday, December 31st, from 4 to 7, all are invited to the 4th annual First Night at the Long Beach Ice Arena. This fun family event includes ice skating, games, crafts, music, a movie, and snack bar specials. There will be a special New Year's Eve ball drop at 6:30 p.m. I'll be able to stay awake for that, I hope. Admission is free. The Arts Council's next event will be on January 5th from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Long Beach Hotel. The theme is New Beginnings to celebrate the arts and the community with a live jazz performance. Food will be served. Admission is $20 per person, $15 for Arts Council members. Also, the Arts Council is looking for board members. If you're interested and have the necessary qualifications, we encourage you to submit your application. The application is on the city's website. The city clerk's office has announced that the 2018 residential parking permits are on sale now. Permits may be purchased at the city clerk's office, room 307 at City Hall, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or by mail. For council resolution passed in September, Clean Pass vehicles receive a 20% discount. Lastly, I just wanted to say this is my final city council meeting as city manager, and I want to publicly thank the city council. Thank you for this as well. I want to thank the city council for the opportunity to serve with you for the past 6 years. Thank you to the phenomenal team in City Hall who's worked truly tirelessly and unfortunately all too often around the clock in order to move the city forward. And thank you to the incredibly connected Long Beach community for your contributions and feedback that have been invaluable in the city's recovery the past 6 years. Together, I think we've worked to make some lasting change, and I'm proud to be a resident of this wonderful city to watch the progress we've made continue as a resident. As the first countywide elected official representing our city, I'll certainly be looking out for Long Beach for years to come. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll begin with our meeting.
Okay, first item is the resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for numerous repairs to the city's wastewater treatment plant and to transfer funds.
Okay, pursuant to the requirements of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, the city is required to undertake numerous repairs to the wastewater treatment plant in order to bring the plant into compliance, as we've been doing for some time now. Funds are available in the capital improvement plan passed by the city council this past May.
Very good, and we have the breakdown too in the detail of the agenda. Do we have any comments from the council?
Yes, Mayor.
First time, yes.
I have a couple questions with the commissioner.
Welcome, commissioners. Good to see you here. Yes.
Thank you. So I just, in reviewing the resolution, I'm curious, the upgrades that are being discussed and going on today, who mandates these upgrades?
Who mandates them?
Yeah.
These are all items that need to be done to keep the plant in full compliance with New York State DEC regulation. Over the last 3 years, we've been negotiating a schedule of compliance with the DEC, and in June of this year, we went into consent order with them and have an agreed upon timetable to finish all these projects. We did take all the individual projects that we had been setting up during that period, and at the recommendation of the controller, we have put them all together into one account to make it easier to administer the contract.
Okay, so you can just explain, in the resolution, there's a difference between the amount of money that's awarded to the lowest possible bidder for the project and the final amount that's moved into this one large upgrade account. If you could just explain that a little bit.
Sure. As we were developing these budgets for the projects, we didn't really have, any bids yet. So when we put all the projects together and put it out to one bid, it came in lower than we originally estimated in the budget. So
That's me.
I'll bring them home. So we just put it all in the funds. The project itself will be a little over 1.6 million. So at the end, these funds will be able to be used to pay down debt on the debt in the city.
I have no further questions.
I just have one question. So this has been going on for quite a few years since I've been on the council. After this round of upgrades, are we fully compliant then?
We are fully compliant until we administer the final part of the consent order, which is 7 years down the road, and transfer the flow from this plant over to the big park.
Right. But with what we can do now before the main.
Right, this will bring us into full compliance with the DEC consent order as of now.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions from the council on this item number 1? Any questions from the public? Okay, and with that, we will move forward. Thank you again, Commissioner. Okay, on to the next item.
And 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to amend the agreement for architectural engineering design services for the city of Long Beach bulkheading road show project and to amend budget.
Okay, additional work is required to include modifications to the scope of work to incorporate design and permitting for new bulkhead locations in the city. Funding is available at no cost to the city through the Governor's New York Rising Community Reconstruction Program.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the council on this item number 2?
I do. Actually, sorry.
Sure.
Commissioner, can I bother you? Thank you very much. Why don't you just explain a little bit to the public the modifications that are actually taking place here and what they include?
Okay, this is one of the GOSA projects that was developed by the CRP committee for the North Shore bulkheading project. When it was determined that there weren't enough funds to do the project as originally planned, we had to make changes to the scope of the project. Those changes included eliminating private bulkhead and adding bulkhead in the canal area. So in order to redesign those canals, we needed to have extra design services, and inspection services, and survey services from the engineer. So we had to put an application to GOSA for the additional funding for that. We've submitted that application, and we're waiting for GOSA to issue their approval under the cost reasonableness study. So tonight I'm asking that this resolution be amended slightly to include approval by GOSA.
Okay.
This includes specifically the additional design includes design of the canal. Is that correct?
This includes design of the canals and some of the other public bulkhead that wasn't originally included, including West Bay Drive.
So, and if you, I know it's not necessarily related here, I know the city council reached out to New York State, joined a letter regarding including the non-existing applications for people that we
Right, the city council has written several letters to New York Rising. The first was to extend the application deadline, which the New York Rising did, and some people have already reported to me they've been able to reactivate existing applications. A new letter just went recently by the city council to not only extend the application filing period, but to extend the period where new applications could be submitted for a private bulkhead. So we're hoping to get back in the positive on that.
and you'll let us know if you hear anything.
Most certainly.
Great. Thank you.
You know, just for public information, this whole concept is critical for the folks in the canals. And, you know, with that, because of the changes, I'd like to make a motion. And I'd like to make that amendment that you're referring to in the following. In the resolved paragraph, add after the first sentence, the approval to execute this revised contract is contingent upon Tech being deemed contingent upon the cost submitted by Tetra Tech being deemed responsible by the governor's office. Being deemed reasonable by the governor's office of storm recovery. And that's a very important part of the amendment that we're doing to this item right now.
Do I have a second on that motion? Voting, Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Young.
Yes.
Councilmember Moore.
Yes.
Vice President Eramo.
Yes.
President Torres.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Any other comments from the council? How about comments from the public? Anything that's not understood? Yes. Mr. Mandel, please come forward. Good to see you. Welcome.
Good evening, John Mandel. Three quick questions. Was Tetra Tech the company that made the original $16 million error in the bulkheading?
No, they were not.
Okay, good, thank you. One of the things that we were talking about as a member of CRP committee that kind of ground it to a halt was the issue of the bulkheads became prevalent. And now we're proposing to do a scope of work for West Bay Drive, which also brings bulkheads, I'm sorry, not bulkheads, docks, into the equation. What, has anything changed, or are the docks still going to be, create the same issue they created previously?
They will. They will create the same issue that we would have with the private bulkhead. However, these docks are built on public property, so they'll be a lot easier to deal with. People will be happy about it, but they'll be easy to deal with.
Thanks. And final question. We're now about to invest money to bulkhead one side of two canals each. We still haven't gotten an answer on what protection we're afforded bulkheading one side of the canal.
Well, this is quite a big puzzle, putting all these pieces together, but each piece will help. And right off the bat, the bulkheads in the canals will save a tremendous amount of flooding that we get on the three streets down there on Heron. So they will have a big impact in terms of flooding, and they're just one piece of the puzzle. We've got money in the budget over the next 4 years that we put into $1 million here for additional bulkhead. We have the private bulkhead program where we will fund for 20 years private bulkhead. So it makes sense to do this, even though it's only part of the puzzle. It's one less part of the puzzle that we have to deal with.
Commissioner, it's my understanding that the state is mandating this money goes for bulkheading.
Correct.
So if we don't spend it on a piece of the puzzle now, we lose all this funds.
We would lose this funding, yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's a very good point. Very good point. And I believe that was an excellent question, John. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And just in case I don't get a chance to come up here, I want to thank you, Mr. President, and to also the City Manager for the opportunity to work here over the next year. It's been a pleasure. Not only work with the whole council, but in particular for you too.
Thank you, John. Very nice of you to say that. Okay, are there any other comments from the public on this extremely important project that we're embarking on? And again, as the Commissioner mentioned, it is part of a long project that we have to rebuild the canals and to safeguard the properties there. I see no more hands, so what I'll do is we'll move on to our next item.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase an ambulance for the city's fire department.
Okay, it was the city's intent to re-chassis 2 older ambulances, but the department advises it proved to be too costly. Therefore, the city is able to purchase a new ambulance for less money, while providing the city with a total of 3 ambulances in excellent condition to provide EMS services to our community.
That's good to hear. And Commissioner, I'm glad you're here, Commissioner Kemmons. The ambulances, are they fully equipped? Do they have what we need for doing the job here in Long Beach?
Well, we already have the equipment necessary. What we're looking to do is recapture 2 of our older ambulances. But unfortunately, due to the increasing price of the better chassis we were looking to do and the modification that would need to be done to the existing ambulance boxes, the cost would around us approximately $140,000 per vehicle. We can purchase one new ambulance for $186,000 using the new buying service the city became part of, saving approximately $9,000 on the purchase of this ambulance. That will give us, this new ambulance will go to the paid paramedics. The ambulance they're presently using will become their backup ambulance, and that will give us 3 ambulances in very good condition. Then we'll leave us with 3 older ambulances, one of which we will surplus and get rid of. The other 2 we will make minor repairs to keep them serviceable and needed if we need to press them in service, and move on from there.
Okay, any comments, Mr. Mandel?
Commissioner, I just want to make sure my understanding is correct. The original $185,000 that was allocated to refurbish the 2 older ambulances is now being allocated towards this purchase?
That is correct. We got the permission from bond council to be able to use that money for this as long as the council approved the change.
Thank you.
And these are new vehicles?
This will be, the one we're purchasing is a brand new, it will actually be built for us at the factory.
I see. Okay, any other comments from the council? How about comments from the public, folks? Very important, having ambulances in good shape for our folks. I don't see any hands, so thank you, Commissioner. Thank you for being here tonight, and we'll just move on to the next item.
Item 4 is a resolution authorizing budget amendments to the general fund budget and the sewer fund budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year.
This item amends the budget to account for additional revenue from New York State, Governor's Traffic Safety Committee, and the Federal Transit Administration, and funds for the purchase of a degreaser for the water pollution control.
Okay, any comments on this new piece of equipment, or needed equipment, should I say? Research. Any comments from the public, folks? Yes. Ms. Blanchett, good to see you. Welcome. Yes. Very nice to see you.
I'm not sure if everyone got a chance to read the email. I had some questions about this, and no one was able to call me back. Can you guys hear me?
My understanding is our Director of Community Development contacted you?
I don't know who that is.
Mark, did Mark?
No, you don't call me today? No, you did? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
This is
Well,
the
you know
form
what?
anyway.
I'll just, I didn't get that, sorry. I'll just ask them, they're really, really simple. I'm just curious about the GTSC money, if that's from the October 1st grant. Probably the commissioner might have to answer this, if you don't already know it. Is that from the October 1st grants that were awarded, or is this the previous year? And then this is for the seatbelt program?
It's a seatbelt, that's right.
Right. So is that a program that's already?
Well, we have our police commissioner here.
It's the 2017 or 16, 17
The 16, 17, that's all I wanted to know, thank you. And then the federal aid for transportation, what was that used for? $40,000? What was that grant for?
For equipment that was destroyed during.
Ms. Sheriff, Ms. James, come on up. Come on up. Folks, this is our controller, Ms. James.
So the equipment was, this is going to be used for equipment that was destroyed during Superstorm Sandy. It's part of a bigger grant that we received back in 2015. It's going to go towards portable two-way radios, the insert for buses, washing systems, and some other various things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Blanchett. Certainly excellent questions. And are there any other questions on this item number 4? Okay, so that is very important equipment. And if not, we'll just move on forward to the 5th item.
Item 5 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the urban development fund budget for 2018.
Okay, this is an annual budgetary item, appropriation of funds for certain projects and programs, including youth employment program, as well as facilitating operations and utilities at the Martin Luther King Center.
Good, very good. Any comments from the council?
Yeah, I'd like to have additional information with respect to the contracted services.
Mr. Moore, good
Good evening. So for contracted services, this money goes to fund programs such as Girls Inc., as well as the program that we have throughout the year, such as the Black History Month programs, as we got there, as well as Latino History Month programs, some of the beach cleanups, internship programs, and the temporary salaries go to the security at the MOK, and gas electric is also for the MOK and the Social Security, kind of the salaries.
Thank you. Very good. Any other questions for Mr. McMorro? Anyone? How about from the public? Do you have any questions from the, on the spot? Yes. James, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Mr. President.
It's been a while. Yes, yes. Welcome. Welcome.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street, in the city by the sea. Just have to be in the middle. We're here by the bay. I am excited always to come and be a part of an opportunity to speak to our city council. Sometimes we're speaking about things we're advocating for, sometimes we're speaking about things and decisions that we may not agree with, but thank God for that opportunity that we can come and speak to our city leaders and our city manager. Well, on this particular item, first of all, I would like to thank our city manager and our city government for the diligent job, and also our community development team that's here in the city, first led by Sherry James and now by Mark McMorro and their team staff. Thank you for what you do in trying to make sure that the city is providing programs and providing help through urban monies and also community development monies, but this is urban money. Thank you for assisting with the upgrades of the building. I'd like to thank all of the individual city council members that had their different parts. As lately, Councilwoman Diamond, since she's been at the center probably every other week, along with our city manager, county controller-elect, and Anthony Eramo, just all of you who have been very instrumental, and all of you had at different times. Councilwoman Moore, Councilwoman Mandel, even during Sandy. So some of these things that are being fixed, some are upgrades since Sandy. And I know during Sandy everybody wasn't in office, but Councilman Mandel was there all the time, and also our city manager. So again, I'd like to thank you for contributing and allowing more money and more funds to go to programs like Girls Inc. and you had the Lattice program there, and so many other programs and programs to come. Thank you for paying the gas and electric of your building and allowing us to be in there since it was built and advocated in the 1970s, and it was opened in 1981. When you look at the plate, it says the Long Beach Martin Luther King Center Community Funds. So it was community and the city working on a plan together after the building was burnt down by a mysterious fire in 1976, somewhere around that mysterious fire, catch that. But it's back up, and it's there, and it's been there since 1981, and we thank the Spanish Brotherhood for allowing the MLK Center to go into a meeting and have a location. So again, I can say so much, but I wanted to just give a major thank you. Thank you, Jack. We won't see you, and well, we'll see you all the time because you're controlling. You live in Long Beach. You'll come down there and play some hoops and get beat in ping pong by me. But anyhow, you know, I would like to thank you. Listen, I come up here when I don't like something, and I say what I say, but I want to congratulate you for what you're doing. And I think we should give credit where credit is due. I think that we have a lot of things that are just, we're being blessed with. So again, the Martin Luther King Center is excited, and we will continue moving forward. Happy holidays to all of you, and you're welcome to our Martin Luther King Day Christmas party tomorrow night, and also our Martin Luther King event coming up for Martin Luther King Day on January 15th, his birthday. We're looking for the city to partner with us, or even speaking to Martin. Sorry for going over. God bless.
Thanks, James. Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments on this item, folks? Item number 5. Okay, with that, we're going to move on.
Item 6 is a resolution for appointing an acting city manager for the city of Long Beach.
President Torres, this particular resolution doesn't have a time reference on it, and so I move to amend this proposed resolution to include some form of time reference in which the said acting city manager will not hold both offices for more than 4 months.
We have a motion on the floor. Yes.
Do I have a second?
comments on this item number 6, regarding the city manager?
I would just like to say, while I do think 4 months is a long time, I don't think it's necessary. I think we've gotten numerous applications in, and we're going to start, interviewing folks soon. I don't think the police commissioner, he can speak better to it, but I don't think he wants to be in office for 4 months.
No, I've already had conversation with Commissioner Taggy about it, but I think this particular resolution still needs some form of time reference, so that one, it would also help us to expedite the search process.
Well, I wouldn't want it to force our hand. I'm just that's
So
why
are you open to amending that to
No, I don't think it's
a shorter
necessary.
period of time?
I don't think it's necessary.
Go ahead, Ms. Knight.
I mean, I think that as council members, we've met along with Councilman Bendo, and we're all committed to moving the process along very quickly. We have received numerous applications from a number of impressive candidates, and I think based on my conversations with the commissioner, I don't think it has to do it for 4 months. So we're going to move this along as quickly as possible, and
Right, I'm not disagreeing with both of you, because again, I want to say, and I'll repeat myself, I've already had that conversation as well with Commissioner Tackett. That's not the issue. We have to separate his ability to leave. That's not the question. What's in question is the amount of time with respect to the search itself. I've had the opportunity to be on several searches in the past, and all of us who have been a part of the search process know that we first have to screen people. We haven't done that yet. We haven't had the opportunity to screen applicants, which is the first part. Then we'll have people who become finalists and then semi-finalists. So that does require some length of time. We just want to make sure that we get this right, only because this is a critical position with respect to the life of our city. And that's the only reason why I placed this on the floor.
If I could just address it also. Councilwoman Montecca, I appreciate the suggestion for adding in a date that this would sunset. But my concern would be, this is something we need somebody in the role of city manager for continuity, and also we're part-time here. Somebody has to be here all the time, managing day to day. My concern would be with any time frame added in, especially at the last minute, if that date comes and goes, we run the risk, if we don't need as a body to extend that time, we run a risk of not having a city manager in place. And I think that might be a higher concern. The actual search and eventual hiring of the city manager is on us. So we control that time frame. And like you said, we just started proceeding. We just started getting resumes in. We also are including Councilman-elect Bendo in that. He's reviewing resumes as well. So I think it's something that, I agree with you, we want to do it once, we want to do it right, but I don't think adding in a time frame here would aid us in that search. It would only possibly serve to give us an arbitrary date where we may lose the city manager that's in place temporarily if we don't somehow get together and have what would probably be an emergency or special meeting. So that's why I wouldn't be, at this point, in favor of adding in a time frame.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just have one comment, and having been part of the search committee for the city manager before, along with Councilman Mandel, it did take quite a process for us to go through the various applicants. I remember also going out to the various communities to meet with them regarding the candidates who were there. And when we finally arrived at Jack Schneerman for city council, it was months later. But then again, of course, we were meeting on Saturdays. It was very difficult to get all of us to meet together. Remember how difficult that was. But I have to agree. That if it takes longer, the important thing is to decide to make a good decision regarding the city manager, that we have no time constraints, and that if something doesn't work out and we see a problem, we have to start all over again. Not we, but this council, that we be able to do that. So I agree. I think we need to move forward. Any comments from the public comments? Yes, sir. Ms. Hession, good to see you. Yes. I tell you, I keep thinking that I need new glasses because it can make out folks at a little distance. But I'm glad I was able to recognize it.
I didn't mention 516 West Beach Street. I believe that when Mr. Schnirman came in, it was like the day after the last city the manager left. There was no change, no space there between city managers. And somebody up here had just said that 4 months was a long time, and I agree. And if you already have a bunch of people who are very good candidates, it seems that you could be able to make this decision in 4 months. And I think it's an awful lot to ask of Commissioner Tagney to be the head of the police department as well as the head of the city at the same time for a longer period than 4 months. And if you can do the job in 4 months, then I think you really should take into consideration what Ms. Moore said to do. Put some kind of timeline on this. Because if there is no timeline, there's no timeline, and maybe Commissioner Tagney will be stuck with this forever, and that's not good for anyone, not for him and not for the city. So I really, really ask that you agree with her and put a timeline on this, even if you extend it to 6 months. But I think somebody said 4 months was too long. If it's too long, then put it on there, and if you finish the job in 2 months, great. If you finish the job if it takes more than 4 months, then I think you're not trying hard enough. Get the people in here, make the decision. Jack was in the first day of the job. Commissioner Tagney will be here the first day of the job, but I think he should be relieved of that heavy responsibility after 4 months. Please reconsider, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other comments on extremely important decisions? Ms. Blanchett?
I'd like to echo what Eileen said. 4 months is plenty of time. It really is. We need to expedite this. I'd hate to be rushed in picking someone, but 4 months is too long. And I'm concerned about losing our police commissioner for any amount of time. If he is going to be spending time in City Hall full time, who's going to be doing his job? He can't do both jobs. It's too much to ask of him. He's already spread thin. Our police is so they're completely spread thin, the whole department. So is this going to cost us an overtime? Is there someone going to be taking over his job while he's doing the city manager's job? Like, that's not safe. That's not safe for any of us. What if something, God forbid, like happens in this city? Like, it's just really concerning. Could you just please put at maximum 4 month limit on this, just for the safety of the city? And I'm curious if, did you consider maybe having corporate counsel? You know, or someone, I mean, there's no one I would trust more with the keys to that office than our commissioner, because he loves the city, he's extremely trustworthy. That's great, but I'm wondering, because he is our police commissioner, have you thought about another alternative to that, like maybe corporate counsel? Don't you love how I'm giving you this job?
I have plenty to do, Elsa. Just let her go.
I know, you've got all those lawsuits you gotta go with.
You like that, didn't you?
So, you know, please, I'd just like that to really echo what Eileen is saying, and please consider Councilwoman Moore's ask on the form maximum. Thank you.
Yeah, Commissioner Tagney, can you speak to the dual role and who will be filling in at the police department? And as you come up, I'd just like to say I'm very happy to have this resolution on here, and very honored that you will be leading our city while we continue our search.
The Long Beach Police Department currently has 5 lieutenants there on the executive staff of the police department. They all have very specific functions. Eddie Ryan is traffic, Mark Starr is patrol, Steph Janowski is detectives, Eric Regine does our record keeping and our training, and Lieutenant Dodge does a lot of our technical stuff. So they all have very specific roles, and I have every intention of being a hands-on guy. My intensive schedule is going to be 9 to 11 in the city manager's office every day, 3 to 5. 11 to 4, 11 to 3, I will go down to the police department. I will be taking my secretary with me. I did speak to the city clerk about getting some additional coverage in the office with the existing staff. So there will be no expenses with this. And obviously, I made it clear that I don't want any remuneration. And I just don't know if I'm done.
I'd like to remind everyone that during Sandy hurricane, both Mr. Schnirman and also Kathy practically lived here during that time. They didn't go home. And, you know, I have to say that I fully trust Mr. Kathy with the city. And, yes,
If this does prove to be too much to have both two roles and stuff, I assume, knowing the type of man you are, that you'll come to the city council and let us know that we need to find another actor.
I don't plan to fail.
I agree.
very good. Thank you.
If I may, I
Yes,
think I
ma'am.
want to just make it clear for the record, there's no intention for this to take 4 or 6 days. I mean, we've set out a schedule, we work together, as Councilman Mandel mentioned. We've met with Councilman Bendo as well and set out a timetable and meetings and when we're going to kind of go over this and move this forward. And there is no intention for this to take even 4 months. And it is our hope that it's a very brief period that you have to take on these 2 roles. And I believe that was my discussion that I had with you with Eramo. So thank you.
Any other comments? Oh, yes. Ms. Abelson, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good evening, Frank Nielsen. I understand your concern, but I trust the city council. I've been in a position where I've worked with some of the council to find a city manager, and I'm pretty sure that knowing all of you working really hard together, you'll be able to do it in less than 4 months. I think putting a time limit on it could possibly send the wrong message both to the commissioner and to anybody that might apply. So I just wanted to share my opinion on that.
Thank you for your advice, Frank, because it was never my intention to send the wrong signal to our commissioner. It was just, again, the hopes that we would really move forward with a fair and equitable search, and that was my concern, and that's why I voiced it here, and I think my colleagues have shared openly how they feel about it, and we'll move forward. You'll do it. You'll get it done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Abelson. Okay. Any other comments on this extremely important decision that's going to be made by this council? And, you know, I have to say that as moving into the level of a resident with everyone else, I'm concerned about that too. And I fully trust this council to make the right decision and to do the thorough search that has to be made for city manager. I don't see any more hands. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to our 7th item.
Item 7 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application waiver of street parking requirements for premise 917 West Beach Street for a school-age use bar. This item is publication only, hearing will be held January 16th at 7 p.m. Item 8 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application waiver of street parking requirements for premise 917 West Beach Street for a bakery. This item is publication only, hearing will be held January 16th at 7 p.m. Item 1 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with numerous repairs to the city's wastewater treatment plant and to transfer funds. Just for the adoption of this item.
I'll introduce it.
Second.
Yes.
Mandel.
Yes.
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 Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to amend the agreement for architectural engineering design services for the City of Long Beach Volcanic North Shore project and to amend the budget. We introduce the adoption of this item as amended.
I will.
Second.
I'll second it.
Voting. Councilman Diamond.
Yes.
Councilman Mandel.
Yes.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Eramo.
Yes.
President Torres.
Yes.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase an ambulance for the city's fire department. Introduce for the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second. Voting. Councilman Diamond.
Yes.
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 Item 4 is a resolution authorizing budget amendments to the general fund budget and the sewer fund budget for the 2017-18 fiscal year. Just move the adoption of this item.
I will.
I'll second it.
Yes.
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 Item 5 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the urban development fund budget year 2018. Just move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second?
Yes.
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 Item 6 is a resolution appointing an acting city manager for the city of Long Beach. Just move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second?
Yes.
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 Item 7 is a resolution authorizing publication of a notice of public hearing of an application to waive on-street parking requirements for purpose 917 West Beach Street for a smoothie juice bar. Go ahead.
Yes.
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 And item 8 is a resolution authorizing publication of the notice of public hearing of an application to waive on-street parking requirements for premise 917 West Beach Street for a bakery.
I will. I will. Yes.
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 I
Make a
will.
motion. Sorry. I'll second it.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. This again, brings to an end the city council meeting tonight, and again, the city council meeting for both Mr. Schnirman and myself. And again, we want to thank everyone for being here tonight. And again, just a reminder that we have a 3-minute limit on the comments and questions you might have, and we want to assure everyone that part of city government is that we hear from you, and that you alert us to whatever issues might be out there that we need to hear. Our first person is Mr. Marcus Pincus. Good to see you, Marcus. Welcome.
Good evening, Marcus Tinker here in Long Beach. Just want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. City Manager Schnirman, congratulations on your victory. And I wish you all the best in the County Comptroller's Office. Council President Torres, thank you for your service in Long Beach. I do want to present something. It's a petition in support of Councilwoman Walker, City Council President. As you know, I've been in front of the council for the past 2 years to bring this up. So that has 229 supporters on it. On Inauguration Day, January 1st, 2016, Council President Torres said Councilwoman Moore needed more experience before she can become City Council President. He also said with time, she would be able to be a great leader. So, we're presenting that to you now, in hopes that you would take into consideration making her City Council President on January 1st when the change comes. But as you stated countless times, I've asked the question and get different answers. And you said the rule normally is the Council Vice President becomes Council President. So if that's the case, Councilwoman Moore needs to be put as the City Council Vice President. You know, the President voted for her for a reason. She won a 4-year term. The time is now to give her the chance to serve as countless others have been able to serve as Council Vice President and Council President.
I'm sure that this council is going to take that under advisement, and, you know, again, we appreciate that very much, what you're saying. And I have a lot of respect for this woman. I think that, you know, right now I've joined the ranks of you know, college professors with her, and I see the kind of person she is. So that's something that this council will consider. You know, and again, I won't be part of that decision. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mark. There are more people in this. Okay, and this person really needs your introduction. And like Mark, this is Fran Niels. Fran, please join us. Good to see you again there. Yeah, Fran and I have been through quite a thick and thin together here on the council. Welcome.
Thank you. First, I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever. I don't want to leave anybody out, so just happy holidays to everybody. That's the first thing I wanted to say. And then the rest of this is I just really wanted to speak to Len and to Jack. You know, Len, first I'd like to say that I know and I think that most people believe that the true measure of a person is how they respond and act under adversity. Not just when things are good, because it's very easy to be nice and friendly and be in a good mood and be great when everything is running great. But Len and Jack, Len first sat with the council where he was in the minority and had to fight every day. Then Len had to deal with financial issues in the city. Then the storm happened. And Len put his heart and soul into this community and into this city and gave of himself like, you were like a role model to all of us in the way that you were with the city and what you gave. And so I wanted to tell you that, and I wanted to thank you for that as a friend and as a former city councilman of yours. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then, Jack, thank you also. You know, we came in as a new council at the time, and you know, you were the city manager again. You walked into what was really a mess financially, and then the storm happened. And I am going to state this again because it's something that I followed my whole life. It's how you act when you're in distress that really is what makes the difference. And you really gave the city all that you had at the time. You were there. You worked selflessly. You were new to the city. You know, you had a wife. You know, but you were there. You worked with all the other people in government on all levels. That was a really big help too. So I just wanted to also say thank you, and it was great working with you too. So thank you both, and thank the council, and good things going forward with your new council member John Mandel too. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Fran. Thank you for those wonderful words. And our next person that we have is Mr. Kevin Kelly. Kelly, welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for this opportunity to speak to you. I bring you greetings from Atlantic Beach. I'm an Atlantic Beach resident. And I want to just mention tonight that, inspired by Long Beach's example with your 5-cent fee on plastic bags, we're hoping to achieve the same in Atlantic Beach. Mayor Pappas has indicated he's potentially supportive of that, and it would be an excellent initiative to unite the efforts of these two communities in trying to protect our ocean, which we all know needs all the protection it can get at this stage. So thanks to that. Let me just point out that this is likely to be considered at the January 11th meeting of the Village Trustees of Atlantic Beach. It's at 7:45 in the Village Hall. Anyone, including in the audience, and especially the council, would like to come and express support for this and talk about Long Beach's experience, which I'm given to understand has been almost entirely positive. Be most welcome, be most grateful for any support you could lend. Secondly, I wanted to say I'm personally an avid bicyclist, and we're also trying in Atlantic Beach to expand the opportunities for safe cycling, safe pedestrians, and for safer motorists as well, with a complete street plan for Atlantic Beach. I have a vision of, I probably won't see this, but maybe some of my offspring will see this one day, of a cycleway that safely transports people from one end of this barrier island to the other. That would be an amazing achievement It would be a great thing for this community, not only for health reasons, for environmental reasons, but I think also for the business community. I think merchants are going to benefit a lot from having this opportunity. It would be a world-class cycleway. People would come here expressly to enjoy the beauty of this community and the proximity to the ocean, and to know, but very importantly, that they be safe going from one end of the island to the other. I hope it's something you consider. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I just have a little fact to just show you how the bag ordinance is actually working. No, it's okay, you can sit down, it's fine. The Stop and Shop over here, last year, they recently reported to the city. Last year, they ordered 35 cases of plastic bags with 2,000 bags in a case. As of now, for this year, they've ordered 9 cases of plastic bags. That's a 75% reduction from one store. It works.
I would just add, Mr. Kelly, if I heard you right, January 11th at 7:45 p.m.
Correct.
I think Ryan McTiernan from my office, who had helped lead the effort here to make this happen and do the research and everything, I see running around the room jumping out of his skin to help you. He's
The most effective.
You guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's a wonderful, really mission that you have. One of the things that pushed me into really supporting the plastic bag thing was that our dog, my son's dog, that ate a plastic bag and had to have surgery and nearly died. So it isn't just the environment, it's animals of all kinds that are affected by this. And we're glad that this is moving forward. Thank you again, Mr. Kelly. Thank you. And Phil Schlitz. Yes. Phil, it's good to see you here. Yes.
Phil Schlitz, East Walnut Street, Long Beach, New York. I couldn't miss this meeting when you mean so much to me and for all that I have learned while I've been in Long Beach for the last 6 years. Last meeting I tried to get a statute representative for City Manager Schnirman, but I'm going to work on that because you've done a super job. I know. But I just want to let you know that you are the greatest. Now, get back to Len, because I think I'm a chance to speak to Len. You have been so good for this community. A lot has been done, and you have done it in such a gentleman-like way, and everybody appreciates what you have done. And I look forward towards next year's meetings, and I hope we can get a lot accomplished. And let's not say I, there's no I in team. So let's work as a team, and I do remember that the Democrats control this particular team, so I hope we all work together and get the issues accomplished and spoken on for all parties. So let's just get along. And I also feel that the committee here, City Council meeting, has been forthcoming and open for people's hearing. And that's because of us, City Council President Len Torres. That's the last time I'll probably have to say that. So, but I still want to be able to say in the future, Len Torres, my friend. And I think that's important. And Jack Schnirman, my friend, and good luck. You have a lot on your shoulders, but I believe that you can handle it. You are one of the brightest persons I have ever met, and I mean that. You are super, and that's good for the community because we get a lot done without knowing who's done it, but we know that you two are behind it. And Councilman Mandel, I want to thank you because when I first started coming to meetings, it was 6 years ago, and I think you were city president, and I believe you did a good job, and you made an impression on me that I felt that I had to be part of it, and I hope I can be for the children of our community, and I just wish everybody a happy holiday, and that you can put up with me for another year. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, our next person is Chris Jones. Chris, you still with us? Okay.
Still here.
Thank you. Thanks for staying with us. It's good to see you, Chris.
I actually feel like I do better at the forums than I do in the guys for some reason, which I might disagree with, but just to get into this story about giving, it's a holiday season. Happy holidays to you all. Since the election, I vowed to try to keep my ears into what's going on in the city and joined the Canal Civic Association. Had a ton of fun. It was a week and a half ago when the float freezing, but a ton of fun. Dressed up like snowmen and snowwomen. And my wife joined. She attended the Latino Civic Association meeting and got a couple of notes on my phone. So they were doing this really great thing to adopt families in Arroyo, Puerto Rico, which naturally was devastated by the hurricane. And my wife, I'm praising her right now. She wouldn't have come if I told her that I was going to praise her. And she's not here anyway, but we're live, so her goal was to adopt 5 families. It was about $140 per family, and she met that goal within an hour. And she ended up adopting 15 families at $140 a pop, which is approximately $2,000 she raised from people via Facebook. People probably in the audience tonight, and there's a lot of banter that goes on here. We all see it, and it is the holidays, and it's just nice to hear a story of giving as opposed to some of the headbutting that goes on in here. And Len, I wish you well moving forward. I actually know your son; he's a great younger than me, and I know Cash.
Cash. That's our dog, by the way.
Right? And we might be on different teams, but you always encourage people to speak up here, so that's crazy for that. Jack, best of luck moving forward. John Bendo, I'm sure he's here. I heard him speak. I swear to God, JFK could rose from the dead. For some reason, decided to run for Long Beach City Council. John Memo still would have beaten him by 1,000 votes. Steve, you were testing for this seat, and I think you will do well up here. And it's not just the people in the seats that can make Long Beach better every day. It's the people in these benches as well. Whether you're picking up a piece of trash or getting up here and voicing your opinion. It takes more than just 5 or 6 people. So, thank you, happy holidays, and best of luck to the city moving forward.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Kind words. Very kind. Mr. Delore, I didn't realize you were in the audience. Michael Delore. Boy, it's good to see you. We were neighbors for a little while. Our house was being raised in the walks, and good to see you.
You're always welcome back, President Torres, and best of luck to you as well. Best things are in front of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd just like to hand in some information. Give you time to look at it. It's about issues that we're having in the walks area.
Yes.
I highlighted everybody's name. I don't expect you to be able to read it all, but I'm just going to highlight some statements that residents close by have made. You have them in the packets there. I've been living at 765 West Beach Street. These are the words of somebody else, not myself. Adjacent to me, a postcode for 11 years. I had had numerous restaurant neighbors in that period of time. I'm not a complainer. I resolve any issues by entering into productive dialogue. They've been thumbing their noses at their neighbors and blatantly disregarding the rules of the community. I endure loud and vile conversations happening in the yard outside of my window. I'll skip over the other parts. Late night music that is so loud I hear it through my walls and windows. I'm not going to waste time if you have the article there. The second letter that was given to me to bring tonight. I have lived here for 22 years. Never has there been so much noise from any establishment as there has been from the Oposto. Loud disco-style music with a heavy subwoofer bass reverberates throughout the neighborhood with zero regard for the local residents. We were advised to call, which they have, and this has been going on for the past 6 months. I hope you, as our elected officials, will have better luck from the top-down approach since our methods have not. Thank you.
Mr. Valori. Those are very serious and very disturbing things. And again, we appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Thank you. The next person is Ms. Allison Blanchette. Allison? Always good to see you, always good to hear you. And welcome back. Yeah. Always that smile, right?
Well, I mean, you're just so lucky to see me Allison Blanchette. I wanted to, so I'm up here, I wanted to echo what my friend Kevin was talking about as far as the plastic bag ban in Atlantic Beach that he's working on and that Mayor's been pretty receptive on. And I do hope, I'm really happy that Ryan is bouncing around about this, because I really hope that the city of Long Beach could actually help out a little bit, and maybe if Ryan could show up, that would be absolutely wonderful to just kind of give testimony of how it's worked here. There's maybe 3 businesses in Atlantic Beach, so it might not be as difficult as a task, but it would be wonderful to see the whole barrier island ban it.
I'm hopeful the whole county will do so.
And I was going to follow up with that, Jack. If you run into Laura in the hallway, you could ask her about that. I think Suffolk County just passed it. Did that just happen? Right?
It goes into effect in January.
Goes into effect in January. Okay, that's pretty spectacular. And also, as far as the barrier bike lane goes, that's something that many people would love to see. And it turns out the Atlantic Beach Bridge, Atlantic Beach, East Atlantic Beach, they're working on their stuff. Hopefully, I know Lido Beach dropped the ball a couple of years ago, but hopefully we can see something go on there. And of course, there's that several grants of bike lanes that we still have yet to kind of see go through. And Len, I think you were the one person up here who has really pioneered pushing the bike lane on our boundary.
It would be nice if we got the grant for that, right? When we wrote that.
You actually did.
Oh, you did? Allison and I worked together on a grant many years ago.
You have 3 grants, well, 2.5 grants.
But I think Pat,
$3 million
Pat
in
Warren
there.
did this, right? Wow,
I know.
Patty here.
Yeah, Patty.
That's great, Patty. This is the first I hear. We will.
You come in to meet us,
Wow. That is good. That's quite an achievement.
Persons here. I know that was something.
That's great.
That we were talking about as well. So anyways, echoing that those are things that I hope that we continue to work to move forward on. But I would like this council to know that as of December 31st, we no longer have a Safe Routes to School program. It was a federally funded program through the New York Coalition for Transportation Safety, and they did the program here. This was not a City of Long Beach grant, but this was a federal grant that was done here. The grant has been stretched and stretched and stretched for a couple of years because we are very thrifty, and it is completely expired. This means, as of January 1st, there is the only bicycle education happening in this entire city is through me. And I'm only one person. We need to get a program going. We have more cyclists here than like anywhere in the island. And education is, you can't just have traffic enforcement. You can't just, obviously we have crap engineering for streets, but we also need the education component. This is not negotiable. This is like not a leisure thing. This is not a luxury thing. This is a transportation thing. So I really would encourage someone on this council to reach out, and not just Ms. Moore, because she reaches out to me enough,
but if someone could step up, because I do have access to writing grants, but I need to do it with the city. Okay, then will be the fourth time I've reached out to the city with grant opportunities, so I'm wondering if you guys will actually call me back on that. That'd be wonderful. Thank you. And thank you, Jack.
Commissioner Tagney, can I just ask you a couple of questions? Just to go back one to Mr. Delory's comments about me opposed to this here and this, there's some serious accusations about sound. Could you just talk about what, if he can pass along to the residents, when we say the call, why do they come out? Is there a certain sound decibels? And they're asking for monetary fines, but there are in fact monetary fines.
Well, that's up to the judiciary. All we can do is do the enforcement. One of the problems they have is to keep the door open for smoking. They smoke in the back of the restaurant, so they have to go outside under our smoking ban. So they're outside back, which is just the butts, the walks area. We've spoken with the owners of the premise on numerous occasions. We have done enforcement. We've asked them to be better neighbors. They're not the best of neighbors. That's why I tell the residents to call us. Every time we come down, we'll give you something.
Is there a certain decibel, and do we have a way to determine what the decibel level they're at?
Unfortunately, there are decibel levels in the code, but they have to train the guys in Princeton and New Jersey, and it's a very arduous process. So we do have a second code that reads unreasonable noise, and that's the section we use.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner, for being here. And Mr. Hodge, James Hodge, you still here with us? Great.
Yes, I am.
Welcome again.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street, in this great city of Long Beach that I love. I made it to Nevada from the bay to the ocean. I just happen to live in the amazing North Park area of this city. As you were talking about bulkhead, we'd like to continue to encourage you to expedite whatever monies that can help North Park area and Bayfront. We have Rick Brad, and we don't have any bulkhead there. So we'd like to continue to encourage our city leaders and also our incoming city councilman-elect, Mr. John Bendo, to continue helping us work on that. You know, there's funds that are here, funds that are coming. Please continue to work on that bulkhead. As this is the last meeting, I would like to say one of the things that I always encourage the city to do is in their hiring and whatever they do, they look at diversity. And Mr. Lynn, I would say, you know, I applaud you and I worked very hard with you in getting elected as our first minority elected to the city council. We made history, and I thank God for that history. We all have a story. We all have our uniqueness and where we come from and who we are. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. I help Republicans and Democrats get in and get out. And also, I've been fired by the Democrats and Republicans, so you know we go both ways. We look to just help people that are looking to help people, because I love helping people. So as this is your last city council meeting, I thank you for always having an open dialogue with me. Everything has been great, but you know what? Families don't have everything great. We go through them, we talk, and we move forward. Thank you for being very, very instrumental in helping us to make the Martin Luther King Center a distribution center when you came there and signed that infamous paper that we know about. You know, so thank you for giving us the permission. And Rob, I love you, Rob. Thank you. Rob knows me very well. But you know, we do what we can to again just help people. I thank you, and I thank Steve Koha for what they have done to just help out the community and everyone. Again, like I said, different ones have their different seasons, and some people are just there all the time. And right now, I just really thank Councilwoman Diamond for how she's one that I stood up here and I hollered and stopped the meeting. you know, when they were putting her in. Since she's been in, I don't care. When you get in, you're in. It's time to work. And she's been doing an absolute fabulous job and working with the community, coming and hearing the community needs. And so as a community, I speak in my individual capacity now, as a community activist and a community person that push people to vote. I would always push people to vote for people that care and hear about the concerns of the community. You've been asked for 100 things, but you made it 90. So again, thank you, Jack, for all you've done. Thank you. We will continue working. Again, God bless each and every one of you. Happy holidays.
Thank you, James.
If I can just one thing. First of all, thank you for your kind words. But I just, with regard to the project, the critical infrastructure project that you mentioned, some of the delay has been in coordinating with the town of Hempstead, and I think that we're moving forward with some of that, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can have some sort of resolution, and we can really move the project along since the funding is here. But as governments coordinating with each other sometimes can delay it, but we've advocated on behalf of the community, and hopefully that can be in place in the next few weeks.
And that's going to include also not just bulkheading for North Park and critical infrastructure, but it's also going to include new drainage for Pine Street and Riverside. So the flooding that you currently experience in front of MLK will be gone, finally.
Just want to say, President, I would like to thank Sherry James for all she's done for Long Beach. It's brilliant mind. A lot of people don't know her, but she's leading out also. I'd just like to publicly thank her for her brilliant mind and all the work she's done. Thank you.
And right now, this is a very special moment. We don't normally hear from this person. We have Ruth Batchek here. Welcome, Ruth. Good to see you. I didn't even recognize you. To show you how long it's been. We need to run into each other on the train again.
Right.
We get to talk.
Just wanted to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Eid, all the other holidays, but mostly to express my thanks to President Torres and to City Manager Schnirman for your service to our city, as Fran pointed out, through all the worst times that we've had probably in the history of the city. And Lenny, when you took over and you were in the minority, you were also in the minority with Michael Fagan. So the only ally you should have had was a questionable ally at best. So it was, and being in the minority during that administration was extra special difficult. So, and you've stayed the course, and here you are today, and having also been the first Hispanic councilman in the city of Long Beach, and you're a very admirable person, and you did a great job, and thank you. And Jack, from the time that you started, and our son Aaron worked for you as an unpaid intern just to do service to his city. We've watched you grow into the job. I mean, you came in gangbusters, of course, but growing into the job and having to take on so much responsibility and during, again, the worst time in our city's history. And we're so proud of you that you were elected to countywide office. We know that you'll do a great job. We'll miss you very much here, but totally understand your desire to move on to county government, and we know that you'll do a very great job there as you did here. So thank you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you, Ruth. I have to say, Ruth, that people should know this, that in some of the darkest periods for me, you pushed me to stay and to stay strong, and I appreciate that. And, you know, we owe it to you, too. Thank you. Thank you. We have now Mr. Vincent D. Viola. Am I pronouncing that right? Maybe you could help me with pronunciation. I always screw up people's names. Vincent, it's good to see you.
DiPaola, 415 East Park Avenue, Long Beach. First, I want to say thank you to each and every council member and to the city manager and council for this year of service to the community and for the stewardship that you've given to the city of Long Beach. And I want to welcome Councilman-elect Mandel. But my complaint is not of that same nature. This building is to Long Beach as the Capitol building is to the state of New York, as the White House is to Washington, D.C. And yet every time I enter this building, or we enter this building, we're faced with an eyesore of unfinished repairs. So my question is there a time frame for finishing the repairs in the lobby and a plan for finishing those repairs?
Very good question. I would care to, Commissioner Miranda?
I think if it was up to any of us, we would just knock this building down. It was beautiful.
That's right.
One that the city deserves.
We get tired of these holes in the ceiling too.
I told that too. We're in the process, we're just finishing a hazard mitigation plan for the entire first floor downstairs. We had to dig up some of the floor to fix some leaking issues with the air conditioning system, as you know. We haven't been able to match the pilots down there, but we're going to be spending a little over $1 million on redoing the whole first floor to make it stand up to the next storm. And we're planning on doing all the stuff in the lobby with that. We also have the contract with the OEM, which is going to take care of the sixth floor, which we don't have to bid very shortly. So it's going to be about $3 million worth of work on the building. Between the first floor and the sixth floor, there's still a lot of work to do. And we try to do it as cost effective as we can with our own forces. So, but there are plans for the first floor, and a lot of those things we take care of when we do that as a mitigation.
You know, I just want to mention, I can't help but smile as I think that 6 years ago when we came into this building, it had scaffolding on it in front of it for years. And the scaffolding wasn't because of construction. It was on the off chance that a brick might just fall off the building because there was no fix for the building. The building hadn't been fixed. And it's really proud, symbolic moment for us when that work was completed and that work got done. A lot of work's been done to this building before and after the storm, and as well as landscaping to make it a little bit of a more pleasant place to work for that manager dinosaur. And I hope that that I see the day when it's ultimately replaced with the state-of-the-art building.
Thank you, Mr. Miranda. Thank you. And this person really, the next person really doesn't need an introduction, but I have to say that over the years working with this person, I've gotten to really admire her. And I remember when I first met this person, she was actually a representative of some of the grants that we were applying for at the time. And I remember when we met with you, how good you were to Latino Civic. With that, folks, I'd like to introduce to everyone Helen Dorado Alessi. Helen. Good to see you, Helen.
Hi. I'm sorry if I get a little bit emotional. I really admire the two of you for the work that you've done here at Long Beach. It's meant the world to us here. We went through such a very difficult time, and we needed steady hands. All of you who were here at that time on the city council, really for your work. Right now, on the small island of Puerto Rico, there are thousands of people going through something similar that we went through. We were so lucky to have all of you to help us through that time. They don't have that kind of leadership, unfortunately. And Long Beach Latino Civic Association, as Mr. James noted, thank you so much. We don't have a big fan club, so when we hear our name mentioned, it's huge. We have adopted 109 families in Puerto Rico, and every single one of them is in a little hope that these city council meetings will also be done in Spanish so people can understand what's going on. I'd like my members to stand up for a moment just to say thank you for all that you have done for us. And I wish you good luck, Jack. I wish you luck, good luck. Thank you, Dr. Torres.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We appreciate, your coming to City Council. Thank you. Home safely. Thank you.